The The objective of this exercise is for you to turn this bag over while everybody is still standing on it.
Turn it over?
Turn it over. Yep.
With
That's all.
much?
Yep, that's it. Go ahead, begin.
Let me start since I'm small.
You roll up.
We're not supposed to step off of it, right?
Yep, do not step off of it. Yep.
But we need to fold one side. Wait, so when we need to turn it around without stepping off the back?
Yes, that is correct.
Can you step 1 foot off?
Nope, no feet off. The floor is lava.
Step off.
There we go.
That's the rule, we cannot get off.
You cannot step off. Nope.
At some point, you know the newspaper dance?
Yeah.
So we're gonna have, at some point, somebody's gonna be climbing on someone. Alright? So ano yung foldra till side, ano foldra right?
They're supposed to flip it over without stepping off. Flip it over. Oh, and you only have 2 more minutes to do so.
Oh, yung mo makudra, since I'm not a started tilang, yung umbrella, may.
Hindi ka meron sa cell mo, cell kasama mo pwede. Kumakarak mo na rin. At least we see how much more room we have. How much is it?
Telling me, Lauren can hop on somebody's back.
Close, close. How much space we got there? Oh, balik ka rin eh.
Yeah, so magandang ka roll.
Di roll mo, hindi na.
Kapag mo ito ka rang
Kapag mag-orang na, the roller yun.
No, hindi na dalawa ko like roll.
We're gonna have to do one leg on the floor.
1 minute, 30 seconds.
Yeah, just one leg up.
I'm rolling.
Hold on to her so she doesn't fall off the floor.
Ali. And then what? And then, I think you guys also need to like slide it forward. Oh, marami na kayo aling yun.
1 minute.
Beyond that,
Walang makarang.
Laura, ano ko ko na, maraan mo. Koko, opo. No, oy.
Can we volunteer only one person to do it? Oh, Malaya, kami ka unfold, kami kung try along
One
once.
more binigay.
You have to try long ways so that the order gets folded.
I used to.
Kami ka makangi.
Oh, a whole new strategy. Okay.
Oh, imukat ka ni.
45
And
seconds.
hold each other and then one leg up so we can like really like it in. Hindi na free up from the side and then go around front.
Go all the way to the edge.
Can we form a line?
She said form a line.
We should have taken off our shoes.
30 seconds.
Step on the end.
Oh.
You just want us to be close together. Yeah.
15 seconds. Can we do it? Can we do it?
No, we don't know where to stand while we're
Can we sacrifice everybody and save one?
Keep going, keep going. 10 more seconds. Let's go. Turn it over, turn it over. Oh, all the feet are in the way. All right, and time. All right, very good. We got about halfway over. That's not bad. That's not bad. Oh, yeah, yeah. I've always had my students at least get it one way over. Yeah. But okay, let's make our way back into the room here for a second. We'll get rid of this. Don't worry about it.
Actual way to do it?
No. Well, we actually do it. We actually do it with 15 people on one. Yeah, 15 people. Yeah, typically, like you would do it in half like this, and then you would create space like this. But anywho, let's go back into the room. We got some more instruction for you. I'll throw this away later. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed that. All right. Oh yeah, we gotta do it all over again. Okay, so based off of what we did out there, how did you guys formulate or strategize your approach? I heard a lot of talking. There was a lot of talking, but was there a strategy?
Well, I think we should have probably asked more questions.
Okay. I don't know if I would have answered, but sure.
Well, because there was no rule that the rule is as long as you stay on the back.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't have to overlap the.
Lots of opinions or ideas that were being thrown out there.
We were all listening.
Okay.
We were all listening. Who's gonna say something smart? Makes sense.
Well, okay, that brings the next question is, was there somebody here that you felt took more charge than others? And who? Who was that? Who did you guys listen to? Just by default?
She was just talking and then I was like, oh, we need to flip
Mm.
over and
Yep.
one end.
I was the one doing all the. What if we do this? What if
Yeah.
we do this?
Was anybody like trying to give it ideas but didn't felt heard?
I did.
I heard you.
Yeah.
But what?
What was your?
Instead
Didn't
of
know if you were on the phone or something.
that was before we stepped into the back.
Mm.
They did want to work from this part of the back, but I did want to start from this right side.
Okay. We didn't hear her though, huh?
You have to speak louder.
Yeah.
Did anybody, aside from the people who showed up afterwards, did anybody feel like they didn't contribute at all? Yeah, you do? What makes you say that? You were just listening?
Yeah,
Mm.
trying to listen what's a good strategy to follow.
Okay. Would it have made a difference if you had voiced your opinion?
Probably not,
Why do you think that?
because everybody had their own ideas, so I just have to listen.
So too many ideas can overflood the.
I was
The
trying
objective?
I was trying to listen to which one is the best,
And then you were gonna decide which one was the best one.
and then I just follow what's.
Interesting. Okay, so we've already talked about this concept of people who were voicing their opinions and people who would simply just follow suit, right? We create this dichotomy or this relationship of people who naturally take lead and people who naturally just follow. Do we feel like there is an opportunity for people who just follow to eventually become leaders, or are you just one or the other?
No, there's.
Okay. And how do we bridge that gap? How do we move from a follower into a leader?
No, I think that now talking like that doesn't mean that she wants to take over. She
Good.
Just, didn't have enough to say.
Somebody
Say that
initiated
she was-
discussion.
She wasn't really being the one who's leading, like talking, or the only one talking. She just initiated the conversation.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
think it was bad in my way.
Sure.
see it.
No, definitely not bad at all. So what we're going to be discussing today it's a a team building model to allow you all as the leaders of this hospital to understand where your team is at and how to move them into a more effective approach. Okay, and this is called the team building stages. The science behind this is from Tuckman, last name Tuckman. This is his model for team building stages. So this is a 5-stage process, and you can see the names that are on here, but we're gonna go over each one, really identify what each step is, and then how do we move into the next one, okay? So that's how the flow of this class is going to go. So the first stage of this team building model is called forming. Based off of that context alone, what do you think this stage is going to consist of?
Identifying people.
Okay, now identifying the people, sure. What else?
Stakeholders.
Stakeholders? Okay, so identifying who is important?
Yeah.
Sure.
Like to make up.
Yeah. As of right now, where you guys are at in the hospital and your separation between the public health and the hospital, do you guys have a mission and vision statement right now? Right now?
For the hospital?
No. For for the,
Ministry of Health?
no, for the hospital.
Hospital? No.
Right.
We don't have a.
Right. So as of right now, what's that? Oh, it's something you guys are working on. So as of right now, within this stage, it is unclear what the objective is. Right? Within the forming stage, we don't know what exactly we're working towards. But we know we have people, which is right here in this room, right? Initially, within this forming stage, people are also apprehensive to either jump into a leadership role, voice their opinion, right? Because what happens when too many people try to talk over each other?
No one's listening.
No one's listening, sure. What else? It's a big word that begins with a C. We've been talking about it. Chaos, okay. I was gonna say, yeah, confusion, conflict, right? When too many people are shouting over each other, it's very easy to be like, all right, well, if I'm not gonna be listened to, I'm just going to stand over here on the side, right? We have that conflict that happens. And so without that guidance or without that objective, shared objective, it's difficult to really know what am I working towards, right? So right now we're going to break out, we could do U5 over here. So Darnell, you'll be on this side over here. And then U5 over here. You're really just going to come up with ideas to reassure your teams, right? So let's say each of you are all department heads, right? You're going to come up with ideas to reassure your teams that they are in good hands. Because without that reassurance to your teams, they won't know that they can trust you, right? So we're just going to come up with ideas. We're just brainstorming ideas of how do I reassure them that they can trust me as the leader. So go ahead and break off. We'll do maybe 2 minutes on this, and then we'll come back and share. Again, ideas on how to reassure your team they're in good hands. Oh, here, I can move it.
Oh, since you have like, I don't know, time in front of you, you can be. All right. We're being recorded. Bring your A game. All right. So how do we reassure our team? Okay. That we are in good hands. Anybody. We can go around and somebody can make a suggestion.
I can start.
Go ahead.
Having experience. Experience on, well, our topic is on the hospital.
Okay.
So reassuring that you have nursing experience, you have PT experience, will reassure your team that you kind of know what you're talking about.
That's good. Let's build on that. What do you think on that? So we start off with reassurance. Thinking, okay. I mean, he mentioned reassurance, so when he said that, immediately what came to my mind was like, okay, I got your back.
Yeah.
So, he was talking about, reassurance that, so I'm like, okay, we need to let them know that, whatever tasks they are about to undertake, hey, you know what, I got your back if you need me. Yeah. What about you?
I think being with them, doing the task that
Oh, there
they're
you go.
doing,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like your action speaks louder.
Mm.
So doing what the task is, and then they will know that you're capable of doing whatever they're doing. So in case of like they get stuck somewhere, they can come to you.
That's good.
And then
And if they don't know, then let them know that they can ask,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
And then I should let them know that I'm your link to my superiors.
Ah,
So
that's great.
whatever I cannot provide or help with, I can always go seek help from my superior.
Very good.
Yeah, or provide a positive feedback.
Yeah.
Positive feedback.
Yes.
Okay.
To let them know that we should trust each other,
Okay.
whether he's very low. How do I say?
All right, let's go ahead and wrap up that last thought.
They're not here, so.
That's good. Did you think of anything? So you're all with the team. Ah, solid.
All right, let's go ahead and turn our attention back forward. You can stay actually within these groups because we're going to do this several times.
Put some of that stuff down. Cool. Thanks.
Okay, so let's hear what you guys have to say. Team, let's see, what's your team name? What's it going to be?
Team Obu.
Obu?
Obu.
Obu.
That's like yeah.
Okay, so
Allowance for boom.
let's hear what you have to say. How do you reassure?
Spokesperson.
Okay.
So you have to delegate roles and responsibilities, clear roles and responsibilities, clear expectations, open communication, provide full support for corrective actions if somebody makes a mistake,
Okay.
understand the strengths and weaknesses of your team, build confidence through positive criticism and encouragement.
Okay, excellent. So a lot of what you're saying here, it does feed into the further steps of the team building stage. Remember, we're only here. We barely even know each other. If you need to think about it, like if you're establishing a relationship with somebody, right? You're just starting to date. Are you going to jump right into what's your strength and what's your weakness?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. All right.
If you don't know how to fist, off the list.
Okay. No, that's fair. That's fair. Okay. Yeah, so like when you're starting just to date somebody, those are like the basic things that you want to hear. Like, what are your interests? What are your, do we mesh well, right? Is our energy match? Those are the things more so. We're going to put a pin on a lot of those though, because they do touch on a lot of these things, and we'll get back to that. Very good. What about this group over here? I heard some good discussion. There's a couple ones that I want to point out.
I'll speak first for our group.
Yeah.
I think what we kind of see how we're forming the group, we look at ensuring the leader have the experience. We look at the individual experience who's going to lead on the topic, say health. And they added on with reassuring that whoever's going to lead can work with the team. So the actions speak louder than the words. And then also make sure whoever we pick is going to be a positive person and
Very good. Okay.
encouragement to the team.
Fantastic. So you're setting the tone, right? My actions speak louder than words. I'm going to do the work with you so that way you know that I'm trustworthy, that I am capable of your trust, right? Excellent. I really love that point that you guys were talking about that. So as we form the stage, or form the team, we're going to move into the next stage here, which is called storming. So based off of that word alone, what do you think this stage consists of?
Like getting to know your members.
Very good. But why would it be storming? That's a very dark and ominous word. Why storming?
Because they're still kind of
Reading each other.
Good.
general, yeah.
Okay. What were you going to say?
Assumption.
There's still a lot of assumptions.
You're what? Observing each other? Okay. What about this side? Why would it be called storming? Why would it be called storming? Sorry. Over here.
Probably identifying team members and
Yeah.
delegating,
Sure.
identifying the weaknesses and the strength, and try to work with those who have weaknesses.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Just like we saw in this exercise right out here. I told you all to step onto this thing and flip it over. There was a lot of questions, right? There was a lot of questions. What do we do? Can you restate the rules? And then everybody started shouting over each other, right? This idea, that idea. Maybe we should try this idea. Nobody's listening to me. right? Within this stage here, this is where the conflict comes into play. This is where a lot of the overstepping, over-talking, like why am I doing this? I'm better than this person at this, so I should be this, right? So I should be in charge.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So what we do is we're going to give an opportunity for everybody to kind of, and we build on, so we started off with reassurance, and then we sort of built on that, and we kind of went around. Is that a form of storming, giving a chance for every single person to contribute and build, and then we actually, we built on the discussion? Is that
Sure.
considered?
Not necessarily. That's more just like having a discussion amongst yourselves. Again, this is within your department. So within the PT department, we've already established a leader amongst them, right? But as you get your team closer and more cohesive, is everybody utilizing their roles to their full potential, right? So within this, there's a lot of conflict. There's a little bit more clarity, right? Because you guys asked questions when we were out there on the tarp. You guys asked questions, and I said, no, you don't have to do that. So you gained clarity, but that doesn't mean it was any better, right? So there's a little bit more clarity. There's a little bit of power struggle that's happening within this this stage. But more importantly, this is where coaching begins, right? Just because you are the leader that's established, there's already responsibility inherent in that, right? And so you have to begin coaching in this phase. So within your breakout groups, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can go over here.
Normalize.
What's that?
Normal.
We're here on storming still. So within this breakout group, Whitney, you can move in with this group over here. We're going to, I need you to identify examples on how you've repaired relationships. How do you repair relationships?
You glue it.
With duct tape, right? Okay, we're gonna spend maybe 2 minutes on this, and then we'll share. Oh, sorry.
If you don't mind. Like this is going.
Part of my, I think it's stakeholders.
How do you repair your relationship? So confront and address. How about you? How do you repair yours? It's better this way than this way. How do you repair your
My way or the highway.
So apologize.
And for me, I think it's more about being able to listen.
So listen.
Be able to listen and like completely listen on what's the other side, and then come together and kind of like discuss.
So listen, observe, and respond.
This sounds like SOS right now.
Listen, receive, observe, and respond.
Listen, receive.
Data, action, and response.
My weakness. Listen, receive, observe.
About 30 more seconds.
And then I was thinking to myself, agree to disagree.
Right.
Agree to disagree. What would be the positive?
It's okay if other people have
Have their opinion.
Yeah.
So we just need to be able to take constructive criticism. I mean, I think that's what it's all about.
So talk about it.
Go ahead and wrap up that final thought. We'll
One-on-one meetings and mutual action.
Slap somebody.
I'll see you afterward.
But if you really think about it, Bill, most issues that arise between relationships is because of miscommunication with each other.
All right, let's go ahead and hear what you guys have to say. All right, so we're gonna start with this team over here, and since you already presented, we'll get somebody else to present your team's findings. Okay, so again, the prompt was examples on how you mend relationships. What did you guys come up with?
First, we do identify the problems. What are the ways to help address the problems? And then both have opportunity to have fair meetings, like exchange each other thoughts and express express like how do you feel about this situation, and then not take it personally, but to others as a co-workers and as your bosses as well.
Okay.
And then also help to understand each other's
Perspective, right? Yeah.
strength, understand each other's strength, and then weaknesses, and work as a team to help the ones that have weaknesses to improve. Because once you improve that person's weaknesses, then it's another what you call that positive.
Sure.
Turn the negative to positive.
Okay.
Then everything will be alright. And always have a one-on-one meeting with your co-workers, because some other people are not open, so you have to like with one-on-one to understand
Sure.
her position.
Very good. Yeah, I like how all of your comments are really dealing with listening to.
Understanding your part and admission to whatever issues. Confront and address the matter. Apologize as needed.
Okay.
Or as listen, receive, observe before you respond.
Okay, good.
There are times we have to agree to disagree to come to terms. Talk about it and ensure to clarify for clarification to clear any misunderstandings or assumptions.
Yeah, so within this stage here, within storming, because we are just getting to know each other, a lot of what's going to happen here is just misunderstandings. I might not even understand what you're doing. Like, if you're smarter than me in something, I might just be incompetent in that area, but I'm still the leader, and I need to bridge the gap, right? All of that bridging is within this stage here. Once we move past this and the storm has settled, now we begin to move into here, norming, right? Within this stage, what do you think is happening, right? So we've just started dating. We're figuring out that you snore when you sleep, right? That's the storming stage. What happens here in the norming stage? Yeah, there's a little bit more acceptance, right? Maybe not that much, but there's a little bit more. So within this stage right here, there's a lot more agreements and understandings, right? Me as a leader, I've set the bar. This is what the standard is. You're either complying or we're trying to figure out a middle ground, right? Within this, the roles of each of your team members are understood. That's a critical piece, right? Because if I'm the leader and I don't give each of you a specific role, even if it's the same role, right? Nursing, there's different roles within the nursing realm. And so if you don't understand what that role is, you've yet to move into this stage, right? And then this is where we talked about strengths and weaknesses. Within the norming, I understand what my team's strengths and weaknesses are. And how do I supplement each other or balance them so that way each person can be successful. Okay, so for this breakout group, within this conversation, we want to identify what your top strength is within your section and what your top weakness is within your section. Each individual person section. So this is more of like an individual breakout. All right, so within your section alone, the top strength and the top weakness. Go ahead and brainstorm that. We'll take 1 minute to knock this one out. Within your section, top strength, top weakness.
When you say section, in a personal level?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know how the hospital is broken down, but within your section, whoever you are supervising, what is their strength and what is their weakness? If you work by yourself, identify your own strength and weakness.
I'm like, yeah, my computer can
Yeah.
about me.
It's a good admission, because I would agree.
So I wouldn't say weakness, I would say challenge.
Okay, we'll do 20 more seconds, 20 more seconds.
running out people.
All right, go ahead and wrap up your last thought. And we'll hear from just a few of you, right? Just a few of you. Who has a strength? Who has a strength within your section? Can you share? Yeah, go ahead.
There you go. Somebody else.
Go ahead.
They want the job. They
The-
show up to work because they want the job,
So the strength is their attitude.
the attitude.
Okay, excellent. I think that's awesome. For you to be able to see that they come with the right attitude, that's already half the battle. What did you have?
As I was talking to her, we have to understand each other's weaknesses,
Okay.
so we can all help her.
Okay.
Because one mistake for my mistake is not just my mistake; it's a team mistake. So helping each other, forming a positive vibe can all boost up everybody.
So so as a strength within your section, that is like us sharing the responsibility. Am I hearing that correctly?
Yes.
Okay, so your team's strength is sharing the responsibility. When you fail, you all fail.
Yes.
But when you succeed, you all succeed.
Yes.
Okay, I like that. What about over here? A strength from any of your sections? Good.
So mine is like a double-edged sword.
One
Okay.
word.
Yeah, it's like
Samurai.
because it's like a strength and a weakness challenge.
Okay.
And so I talk a lot.
Mm.
So I talk a lot, meaning that it is a strength
Okay.
because then I become like I'm a quick reactor and a critical thinker.
Okay.
And so I would say it's like a double-edged sword because it's a strength. But then
Okay.
it also can be like a challenge sometimes because sometimes I talk a lot
Mm.
and it's just
Takes up too much time.
too many topics and
Mm.
in one go, and it's overwhelming. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Overwhelmer. You're an overwhelmer.
I know.
Okay.
So that 13-second rule definitely needs to apply to me sometimes.
Okay. No, that's fair. What? Anybody else? A strength and a weakness?
Is for each individual or one section?
Fire away, whatever
Do
you
yours,
have,
do yours,
fire.
do yours.
So my weakness is my punctuality. I will come in later.
Oh, so it's not your specific one, it's your team's weakness.
Yeah, most of us.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right.
Okay, and then the
It's punctuality, got it.
all being reliable and
Reliability. Okay, excellent. So with these strengths and weaknesses, right, it's really up to you to understand the compromise that you're making. You were mentioning that your team really wants to be there, right? They have a right attitude, which is fantastic. Whatever your weakness is that compromise okay?
They don't follow the rule, that's the weaknesses.
Right. And so it's up to you, right, as a leader to identify, am I okay with them being late when I know that they are truly reliable? Or do I need to fix that weakness, hone that weakness a little bit so that way they are reliable and dependable, right? Okay. So as we begin to norm, we're not quite perfect yet, right? We just moved out of storming and we're moving into here. But once we really refine all of the subtle nuances within here, this is where we begin to really jive, right? This is the well-oiled machine. This is, the clear understanding of the objective. This is self-sustaining. You don't even need to be there for them to be operational, right? As the leader, sure, you're there to give guidance, but all I should be able to do is tell you, flip this tarp over, and I should be able to walk away. And you guys would be self-sustaining. Does that make sense? And so within this right here, the breakout that we're going to do is we're going to identify one action within your sections, right? You have a weakness already identified. We're going to now identify one action that can help you move that weakness into a strength. You've already given us a weakness. Now identify an action to move that weakness into a strength.
We want to get off work on time.
Uh-huh,
We haven't been getting off work on time. So we need to make that a strength and just get off work on time.
Okay.
Our weakness is we're overworking.
Okay.
We stay
What is the action that you can take to get to that goal?
clock out at 4:30. Get out of here.
Okay. Within your team, you're just going to force everybody to clock out.
Well,
A realistic. Let's make it a realistic goal.
well, that's the reality. It's like everyone are supposed to get off work at 4:30.
Sure.
But because we feel like we have so much to do, we stay here and work till 5:30, 6 p.m. So the self-awareness, being a leadership, you're missing out on, taking care of yourself,
Sure.
being a role model to your staff,
Yeah.
or vice versa. And so if we continue to do that, everyone's going to feel that they have to work like you do.
Yeah.
And then if my staff stays till 6 o'clock, I feel like I have to stay till 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
So it is an issue, I think, overall.
Okay. No, I mean, those are all good points. Can anybody identify a specific action within their sections to move their weakness into a strength?
I get jealous when dental get off work at 4.
Gotta fight for your right.
Okay,
What
we're
you
not
got?
on a strike here now.
What do you guys have?
For my unit?
Sure. Yeah, for your team.
Well, for the weakness, I see myself as sometimes being too lenient.
Okay.
And
What?
that, yeah. But
That's your, I'm sorry,
I'm
that's,
strict, but people get away with quite a lot of things.
but is that your team's weakness? What is your
Yeah, the
team's
whole-
weakness?
It's because
You allow
if you open that window, you're
It
gonna have to.
enables it.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
so it's by design. I created that problem because I
Okay.
let it happen. And now it becomes, it's not a big deal, but it is a
Sure.
weakness.
Okay.
But
So
that
what's your step?
compromises everything. So everybody needs to own up and actually follow. If we set a policy or a procedure that this is how things are supposed to be,
Enforce
we will
it.
enforce it, and let's be fair about it, but let's be strict about it in a
Sure.
nicer way.
Yeah.
And let's not let people slide, because once you let one slide, then you're gonna have to let everybody slide.
Right. So maybe do like one at a time. Let's
One at-
focus on one policy.
And that's actually what we're doing right now.
Good. Oh, okay. Fantastic.
Slowly, because try to gradually improve.
All right. No, I like that. I really identifying one of your weaknesses and fixing that problem first will get you closer from norming into performing, right? If you've identified all of your weaknesses, right, we're late, we are like lackadaisical, we talk too much, right? If we can really hone in on that and get everybody working at a standard level, right, into that well-oiled machine, that's how we move into here. This is the overall goal. But we don't stay here forever, right? None of you are going to be here forever. None of your staff is going to stay here forever, right? So when we move into this phase here, the adjourning phase, this is where either people leave, people retire, people don't come back to work, right? And so when it comes here, this is where cohesiveness is a bittersweet thing when somebody leaves. In this stage, we want to celebrate people's journey. They've been here for so long, people retire. When they adjourn, right, to leave, this is where this comes into play. We've been here for about, 2 weeks? We're gonna be leaving you tomorrow, so we are essentially moving out of this phase, right? We've already come to the performing, we have our day-to-day routine, but now we're leaving. And we're hoping that you all are going to keep the ball rolling with some of this material. And so when it comes to each of these stages though, is there a set standard for how long you need to stay in one before you move to the next? What are your thoughts? Do I have to stay in forming for 3 months before storming can begin?
Different for others, I guess. But I mean,
Okay.
for standards, I guess, yeah.
Okay. What else are your thoughts? Does your leadership style have anything to do with how long you stay in any of these?
I think so.
Okay, explain.
I kind of echo what Jason is saying. I have to take on, I'm too nice. I'm really strict in some level. And I can really see that I am lenient.
Okay.
I'm too nice to yell at.
Sure. Conversely, if you're super strict on everything right off the bat, do you think that you're gonna stay here a little bit longer? Probably, right? If I already telling everybody, you're not going to be late or you're getting written up, you get written up 3 times, you're fired. Do you think that's gonna set a good positive tone with people? You're still holding people to standard, sure,
But not necessarily.
but not necessarily a cohesive team, right? So we see the difference between the two. So your leadership style will determine how quickly you get here, right? You need to be adaptable and incorporate all of the things that we're discussing to move you through each of these stages. As the hospital is becoming its own entity, consider yourself here. This is your opportunity to have a discussion with your teams, to have that discussion with everybody, set that standard so you can begin rolling into these stages. There's no time limit, so it's not a race. It's not a race between the dental crew who gets out at 4 o'clock versus everybody else here who thinks they have to work until 6 o'clock. That might be you working through these steps so that way you have a cohesive team. Okay? All right, so when it comes to moving too quickly, right? If you think that we're, let's all agree that we're here. But if you think you and your team are here, what are the ramifications for jumping too quickly to the next stage?
It's not going to be.
You're gonna jump back into
Yeah, you're gonna find yourself rolling right back into this, right? If I think that we're performing, all right, cool. Maybe I'm too lenient and I just give you guys a small task and I walk away. They're gonna be like, where's my boss? I don't have any guidance. What am I doing here, right? And you're gonna find yourself here and you're probably gonna stay here longer. Does that make sense? So you need to take your time, and you are all the leaders of this hospital. You need to take your time to understand where your team is at and make the conscious decision to move into the next stage. Make sense? All right, so I want to put all of this into practice. Okay, and bear with me. This is going to be a tall ask, all right? So what I would like everybody to do is pick one person out of your team. Pick one person out of your team, and I want you to send them a message, either email or a text or whatever. And we're going to do this before we all leave. So your message is going to consist of essentially 3 sentences. The first sentence, and you can write this down because I want to see and I want to hear what you're writing. The first sentence is that you're grateful that they're on your team. A sentence of gratuity. That's all that you're making. That's sentence 1. Sentence.
I'm grateful you're in our team.
Yep, it's just a sentence of gratuity. It could be something as simple as, I'm grateful you're on my team. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to lead you, right? Those are the kinds of sentences you want to say. Sentence number 2, their impact on your team. Without you, we wouldn't be able to X, Y, and Z. I'm so happy that you help guide our team into success by doing X, Y, and Z. Right? This is an impact sentence. And sentence 3, it's looking forward to get to know them more. Right? So any kind of sentence that you feel like, I'm willing to work with you, I want to hear more about your philosophy on X, Y, and Z. Okay? So 3 sentences, a sentence of gratuity, a sentence of impact, and a sentence of getting to know them better. Just pick one person out of your staff and send a message to them today. By the end of the week, my challenge to you is that you've sent that same style, that same message to all members of your staff.
Intuity.
Send it to them right now?
Yep. Right now.
Intuity, impact.
Yeah, gratuity, impact, and then looking forward to working with them.
Dear iPad.
Does that make sense?
Member of my team.
Yep, one member of your team.